Hi family, I want to talk to traders that have been struggling for so long, moving from mentor to mentor, strategy to strategy, YouTube channel to YouTube channel, searching for strategies years and years and are not seeing results. And of course, there is one thing that you struggled with most of the time that I've identified as I talk with these traders over my mentorship, over any interaction whatsoever that I have with traders. Say, well, I've been trading for 3 years and there is no consistency, I see no profits, I'm not sure if this thing works. Where else within my own trading life, I used to have that very same dilemma and stagnancy. And of course, this is not about the ability or your understanding of trading to say you're a slow learner or fast learner. It has nothing to do with that, but a psychological dilemma that hits a lot of people. They're not aware of it, and because they're not aware of the enemy, they're fighting at the wrong place. And because they're not aware who's the enemy, they cannot conquer the enemy. An enemy that you cannot identify, you cannot conquer. And that's what is really happening. But I want to show you this so that it is the end of your struggling. It is now the beginning of your enlightenment to this very psychological aspect that I want to talk about. And of course, what is it called? It's called the circle of doom. So the circle of doom is an aspect, or it is a trading psychology point of view where we identify the circle that a lot of traders find themselves in. Most of the time this happens at the beginner stage, especially when you don't have a mentor. People who tend to go straight into mentorship from beginner stage, most of the time they don't go through this, especially if you have a good mentor that emphasizes on trading psychology. So what is the circle of doom? So the circle of doom, it is basically a circle of stagnancy. Basically, it starts with about 4 stages or so, whereby as a trader you start off by getting a strategy. So the first step is, many of us tend to get a strategy. We are excited about it, we cannot wait, the mentor is good, the mentor is the best, the lifestyle or the teaching technique, whatever the motive may be, but we get the strategy from an individual, from a book, from anywhere, right? As we get that trading strategy, the trading method, we go along and apply it to our maybe demo. For example, most traders of course will follow the demo example. So that is stage 2, where we kind of get to practice this strategy. And because it's in the practice phase, we're busy making so much profits, and we look at it and we get too excited and we move on to the next stage, which is basically where we start making profits on a real account. But now things begin to shift on a real account, and you've heard some people say, I think a demo account and a real account is not really the same because of how I struggle. When I was on a demo, I was trading so good with this trading method, but now that I am on a real account, I am actually very much struggling. I don't know what to do. Well, I am gonna tell you something that happens on a real account. The moment you move from a real account on a demo, what was happening is you're trading without emotion because there's no attachment with the money. But now, because it is your money that you have deposited, or either it's a prop firm that you paid for, there's a certain level of attachment because it's yours, you worked hard for it. Therefore, there's a nature that God has given us to be protective of the things we worked for. So that nature and that emotion is the one that starts to work against you with the strategy that you picked up as you're testing it. It looks so good and you're excited, but now you move to trading real and it is going sour. It first goes in profits, you're excited, and you start to be greedy and overbet in the markets, and what happens? You start to see yourself in a spiral of losses. Once you see yourself in a spiral of losses, you start to see and you start to wonder, does this strategy actually work? Is it accurate? You start to tell yourself lies and whisper lies to yourself to try to justify that this strategy is not as good enough as you got it at the beginning. So what really ends up happening is that we go again into now the other step where we basically start searching. We start to search and we waste so much time searching, changing strategies. So you basically change this trading method. Once after you've changed it, you go ahead and you get a new strategy that is best and that is amazing for you. It is banger. Let's say it is smart money, ITC. Oh my god, you're excited about this. A lot of people have posted profits. A lot of people are amazing, but a lot of people who don't actually admit to you that it's not only the power of the strategy, it is the power of your mental capacity to be able to handle and be able to be realistic with yourself when you're trading. So what happens is that whenever you're a trader, you gotta acknowledge that you're gonna have losses there and there. And you must understand that there is no 100% trading strategy within, in fact, the interbank markets. The trade funds, the hedge funds, they don't even have 100%. No one ever has 100%, no matter how good the strategy. But in most times it happens that they get to oversell it to us, they get to overmarket it to say, oh my god, this is the best. So a lot of traders, what we actually used to do, or what I used to do, you post all the good stuff and leave the bad stuff of the strategy. But it's very much important to make any person who's watching your strategy, who's equipping themselves with the very same method that you say you developed, it's very much important that you can show them the nitty-gritties of that and the disadvantages and the advantages of that. Once they know it, then they will be able now to kind of really gauge themselves, to not fully go with the emotional joyride of it and thinking, oh my god, it's profits all the way. But they must have at the back of their mind room for disappointment, in that sense that we must always allow ourselves to understand that there will be losses. So what happens now when you start to move that mindset, that because you have now you have gotten this trading strategy, you back test it on the demo, you move to profits, you start getting losses and you change, it becomes this whole cycle. And a lot of people are stuck in it for about 3 years, 5 years, some even up to 10 years, until you actually get liberated out of that cycle of doom. Many of us will never succeed. So that's why you actually not seeing the right consistency, because you keep on changing every time you get losses. You keep on changing every time you're on a streak of losses. Streak of losses will happen even to the best of traders, but it is the trader that understands how to risk management that you will know when to come back from that risk, from that losing streak. So I want to help you. I've let you identify the problem, which is the enemy. Now we can go ahead and conquer this enemy. I hope you're still listening. If you are still listening, make sure to subscribe, like, and also follow this, right? So let's get to the solution right now. Okay, so the solution, it would be that you have to understand that there is no perfect strategy. Get to that enlightenment when it comes to trading. Get to that level of understanding as a trader. Number two, get to a certain level of understanding as a trader that trading is only 80% psychology, 20% skill. You only need 20%. A lot of us as technical traders, smart monies, we're part of technical traders, okay? It's that we search so much in the external problem or the external skill to say what is on the outside. I want to sort it out in terms of getting knowledge, but we don't actually focus on the internal issues, which is the trading psychology. You are just a normal regular person. You didn't know anything about the foreign exchange markets. Now that you come into these markets, you're gonna be mentally challenged. You have never done so much money in a short space of time. You're gonna get excited, you're gonna get greedy, or you've never lost so much money in a short space of time. You're gonna get depleted, you're gonna get discouraged, and you must be ready to kind of really have that defense mechanism. And in most cases, a lot of people, their emotions get the best out of them. So you must really understand how to deal with those aspects as an individual. How do you deal with winning so much money in the markets? Don't be too excited, because overexcitement leads to greed, right? But as well, don't be too greedy, or rather, when you get losses, don't be too down. Just take it as a business loss. The moment you have this mindset that trading is a business and you're gonna make losses and profits, then you understand that you ought to treat it like that and apply risk management. So the next thing that you ought to understand, after understanding that there is no perfect trading method, is that you want to understand, you want to apply risk management. In most of the time, right, trading happens to be a numbers game. So what do I mean by a numbers game? Well, it's a numbers game in the sense that I can have 5 losses, or I can have 3 losses in a week and 2 wins. But I can make it to say those 3 losses, if I've lost only 10 pips on my stop loss, and I win 2 trades that win me 200 pips, that means that I've actually made more than what I have lost. But in an actual sense, from another person, if I say I've lost 3 trades, it seems like I am on a losing streak. So it's all about a numbers game. Don't look at how many times you have lost, look at how many in terms of the risk to what ratio that you look at. So master risk management. The moment you master risk management, it shows you as a trader that you know exactly what you're doing. You understand that there's risk involved, and therefore you have to manage it in order to make money. Trading, that's it. It's all about managing how to make money. So there's no holy grail trading method. There's no homecoming, or that that one trade that's just gonna make you $1 million. Forget about that. You gotta consistently and gradually build up to making $1 million. A lot of us want to arrive before we depart, in the sense that we see all the signs saying you are close to arriving, but that makes us too excited and we end up crashing on our journey. So it's very much important that we can really understand, calm ourselves down, build step by step, understand and study in depth during your backtesting period. Isn't it that you've got this trading method? The next step, you want to backtest it. Once you backtest it, don't just backtest it to see how accurate, or is that guy that was teaching you, was he speaking the right sense? In most of the time when we buy a course, we're always looking at the person who was teaching it. Was he teaching sense? Is it worth my money? But at the end of the day, you must really backtest it to see its accuracy, to measure, is it 60 to 40, 70 to 30, or 50 50? Do I break even most of the time? Understand the power of your trading method. Once you've understand it, you'll understand its weaknesses and strengths. Therefore, you want to always measure that when you're getting to the strengths of that, where you have all of the confluences and information gathered about certain trade types or anything like that, is that you can make sure that you capitalize on it by applying the right risk management. Go in on it, don't be afraid. But when you're unsure, that's why you know now this is the weakness of this trade. It does not give me the surety and assurance that I need in terms of confluence with this trade. Therefore, go small on that, and of course stop losses, apply that. What it makes sure is that it just makes it a numbers game and does not really affect your emotions as an individual. I did also talk about market biofeedback, which is rebuilding the bridge, and that connection to how your mind reacts to price and how price reacts. So once you've mastered how you react, how you respond to price and how price moves, that is when you actually build up a very strong emotional intelligence, and of course you build this trading psychology that will now differentiate, that will now save you when you're making losses and when you're making wins. It's very much important. And of course, family, you want to apply this video throughout. You want to listen to it with both of your ears and hear it twice if it can be, because I know a lot of traders are struggling. Making 100,000 just today doesn't mean you are a profitable trader or either a professional forex trader. That means that you are lucky, but making it consistently makes you know that you are now knowing what you're doing. You are able to replicate it. It's not just a matter of that you are lucky or you're gambling or you are blessed that day or highly favored. We understand that, but you ought to kind of replicate a pattern that will produce income. Many of us came into this to produce side income, or to produce main income, to be professional traders, or to just make money overall, to live a good life. And it's very much important that you understand that your emotions play a big role. They can either propel you, or they can either lock you up into the circle of doom. I hope I've just helped you so much with this video, family. I know I was speaking throughout, but I'll just make sure that I want to help you, because if I'm gonna pour my trading strategies, or if you're gonna buy my course without actually going through and understanding intelligence or emotional intelligence, it will be like I'm just pouring water in a bottle that has got holes. I'll just be pouring out so much knowledge, and it won't take you anywhere, because you're not yet bottled up, you're not yet ready to welcome what in terms of the trading method. So I just hope you understand, family, what do I mean by all of this. And it's time to identify, it's time to introspect yourself as a trader. It is not the trading strategy that you got at the beginning from mentor A, or from mentor B, or C, or D. It is now you enter, basically to just search within your heart, what are you battling with as a trader emotionally, in terms of when you apply yourself in the market. Once you've done that, it's very much important now that you keep it journaled. Journaling will really help you to overcome getting out of the circle of doom, because you journal in terms of your positive trades, losses, how you overcame it emotionally. But I'll do another video on how to teach you how to journal in terms of trading. But I hope you're blessed. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and also share this video with your friends and family. God bless you.